Hi, I'm Pastor Kurt, and this is your 5-minute Bible study. Today, we're going to look at John chapter 13, verses 1 through 20. This section begins Jesus' last night with his disciples before he dies. Now, quite often when we think of that night, we think of the Last Supper. But here in John, we don't get the Last Supper. Instead, we get Jesus washing the disciples' feet, which is what these verses here are about. Jump back to chapter 12, at the beginning of that chapter, and we hear about Mary of Bethany, the sister of Lazarus, who came and washed Jesus' feet. She washed them with this ointment. She dried them with her hair. The smell of the ointment kind of filled the house. It wouldn't surprise me if Jesus used that as inspiration for what he did for the disciples. Now, Mary didn't come up with this idea for washing feet. This was a common thing back in the day. Just think about traveling in that part of the world at that time. You did a lot of walking, and because of that, your feet got really dirty. So when you approached and got to somebody's house, the host would wash your feet by having the slave wash your feet. This was not a glorious job. This was a dirty job. This was a slave's job. So it wasn't a new idea to have feet get washed. The new thing here is that Jesus is the one doing it. This is what shocks the disciples. Peter speaks up and basically says, Lord, what are you doing? Are you going to wash my feet? Right? This doesn't make sense. Why in the world are you down there on the ground? Why are you the one washing our feet? This isn't where you belong. You shouldn't be doing this. Jesus tells Peter, if I don't wash you, you don't have a share with me. To which Peter basically thinks, oh, I want to be with Jesus. And he says, okay, then not just my feet, but my head and my hands. Wash all of me. Jesus says, okay, Peter, you don't quite get it. You've taken a bath. You're clean. This isn't about washing dirt off of you. I'm doing something more important. You don't quite get it now, but later you will. Okay? This is the story that we hear on Maundy Thursday during Holy Week about this washing of the feet. When we think about Jesus washing the disciples' feet, Peter stood up for Jesus. He was shocked that Jesus would do this. Like, why in the world would Jesus be serving me like this? Sometimes today, I think it's the opposite. Sometimes we expect Jesus to serve us. Sometimes we don't show Jesus the same kind of respect that Peter showed him. And yet, even in our arrogance or our not understanding what he's doing, in our trying to take advantage of him, Jesus still washes feet. It is a dirty job. Think about your own feet. How many people do you show your feet to? Usually we cover up our feet. We wear socks and shoes. Sometimes you go barefoot, but not all that often, I bet. Feet are kind of gross, right? And yet Jesus washes that gross part of you. Now think a little more metaphorically here, okay? Jesus washes all of those dirty parts about you that you don't want other people to see. All of your sins and your secrets and your shame, he washes them. He washes you clean. He doesn't care how dirty you are. You don't need to be ashamed of that because he's going to wash you anyway. Think about this moment here. Jesus not only washed Peter's feet, he washed the feet of all of the other disciples too, including Judas. Judas was about to betray him. Peter was about to deny him. All the other disciples were about to run away from him. And knowing that, Jesus still washed their feet. Jesus still showed them love. Jesus still laid down his life for them. In the same way, Jesus washes you clean. No matter how dirty you are, no matter what your behavior is, no matter how you might try to take advantage of him or deny him or betray him or run away from him or any of this kind of stuff, Jesus still washes you because he loves you. There's your 5-minute Bible study. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.